Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Friday to everyone out there. New details emerge about Katie Thurston's season of The Bachelorette. I have to say, it might be the season that just keeps on giving here. Andrew Spencer was recently on an interview series called Driving with Dave. What? Hold on. On my show? Yeah, someone actually made an article about Andrew Spencer on our program here. Boy, things have been wild. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. This is a me patting you guys on the back. Featured in Time Magazine, featured in Washington Post, and now featured in the Pulitzer Prize winning Bustle. Is it Pulitzer Prize? I don't know if they've won a Pulitzer. Bustle.com. And I got to tell you, I didn't even know this was, thank you to Grace for writing this article. I didn't even know this was an article made. When I do these interviews, I kind of just black out and I don't really remember what was said. But Andrew Spencer actually shares that he had his own hometown date filled. Not only that, he also discussed why he was so into Teddy on Bachelor in Paradise. So as the article goes, Andrew Spencer said he filmed a Bachelorette hometown on Katie's season, and he shares all the information. In a recent appearance on the Dave Neal Show, Andrew Spencer opened up about his time on Katie Thurston's Bachelorette season. I have to tell you this. If you're enjoying the Dave Neal Show, if you enjoy these long-form interviews I'm doing with Bachelor alumni and other people with notable stories, I got to tell you, DM and I always say don't DM people hate, but DM them if there's anyone that you want to see on my show and say, hey, Dave Neal's got this new show he's doing. Everyone's having a blast. It's getting a lot of press. It's a fun thing. Share it with people. I reached out to Rachel Lindsay, haven't heard back. Same thing with Brian Abasolo. I just reached out to Hannah Godwin, haven't heard back yet. I'm reaching out to a lot of people, mainly in the Southern California area, and Thomas is supposed to be on. We haven't worked our schedules out yet, but if there's anyone who's an alumni that you think would be a good fit on the show, Jesse Palmer too. Reach out to Jesse Palmer, slide into their DMs or on their Instagram posts. Ask them if they would do it. I'm reasonable. I'm showing up with a cup of coffee, making it really hard to say no. So Andrew said goodbye to Katie Thurston. Let's pick up where we know. He said goodbye to Katie Thurston and said, if you change your mind, I'll be waiting. Which sounds like a Boyz II Men lyric, doesn't it? So anyway, here's the dramatic moment. Of course, Katie Thurston's running around behind the scenes. The music's playing. She's looking. Katie's walking the way everyone kind of made fun of her for doing that. And then they had a very powerful moment. Well, here's what Andrew had to say. Of course, on Driving with Dave, an episode that was released on Saturday, it's quickly becoming, I think it's about to pass Corinne Olympios and Susie Evans as our most watched episode. But have a listen to what he had to say about his hometown date that was filmed, just in case they never aired it, in case he came back for Katie. So you talk a lot about your mom, and I have a very, if I'm going through a heartbreak or something, I call my mom. I can talk to her about things that I might not have talked to her about back in the day, but I've kind of grown to enjoy her sort of wisdom because she's, she was a single mom who had to work through it all and all that. So you get off the Bachelorette, you get your phone back. What's that conversation like with your mom?
Well, crazy thing is, my mom was in New Mexico. So I had a hometown. Not a lot of people know that. So I had a little hometown. I think it was just in case if I said yes of staying, they would have aired it.
Wow.
But
did you know they weren't going to air it?
No, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know.
So they didn't air your hometown?
No, but it wasn't like a hometown. It was like I just got sent home. We still want you to film with your family. So I'm like filming because they had to be there for 10 days because of
pandemic.
COVID. Yep, pandemic. So I'm filming a hometown and I'm having a good time. I'm not having a good time, but I'm explaining to them about what just happened. This is right after, so I'm still hurt. And my mom's like, I've never seen my baby like this. She's got my jersey on. Which is hilarious. She's wearing my jersey at the hometown thing. I'm super momish. My sister's there. So yeah, just two really important women in my life were there.
So at that point, you had not left, or you were not gone from the show.
No.
So then you had to
rumor has it, and this is
a good rumor.
This is a crazy rumor. So I heard that I was kind of being coached into staying because Michael A had already left. So to complete the numbers, it would be better if I would have stayed. That would have been 4 instead of just 3 people going in the hometown.
So it seems like, and again, I don't, when I'm interviewing on the fly, I don't even get a chance to really address this. Have we reached peak barrel scraping that I'm recapping my own conversation? At least I changed to a different shirt. Same underwear. My good luck underwear. All right, anyway. So it looks like, because the show, right, they had people leaving left and right. Michael left and then Andrew Spencer. So the show doesn't want there to be nobody, and they want to have as many people as possible, 4, and no more, but hopefully no less. So they filmed hoping they could get Andrew to come back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're on, I think it's well known, you're like pipelined to be the possible Bachelor. Could you even grapple with that idea? That's a big...
The Bachelor?
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be.
All right, so then we talk about The Bachelor, but I want to get to the 17-minute mark. We had a great conversation. I'm going to share what he had to say about Teddy Wright, but first I'll share this clip because I actually had I had one person that didn't like this clip, and I'm going to tell you why. Have a listen.
Does your dad did he go to prison?
5. So like literally.
I asked what year, because we were talking about the fact that Andrew Spencer's dad went to prison, and I said, what year, how old were you when he went to prison?
Right when I started football. He's never seen me play football. So I think he saw my brother play 1 year, and then the next year it was about to be my first year. I was so excited, and then he got locked up, so yeah.
My mom used to make us, on like Father's Day, she would make us write a Father's Day card for our uncles, and in hindsight I'm like, what guilt does that put on my uncle? That it's like, oh, you're going to make me hug.
No, I remember my mom used to always put it on my uncle, like, he doesn't help us. I'm like, well, it's really technically not his job, but...
All right, so there it is. Now, I liked this because it's 2 guys that were raised without their dads discussing what it's like to not have a father. That's what I liked about it. Somebody left me a message saying, well, why did you have to post a clip where you talked about the prison system? Now, obviously, that's because there's an unfortunate, level of incarceration amongst African-American men that's way above what would be a normal level. And that's a whole different social issue to get into, but which I don't disagree with. But this is his effing story. This is Andrew Spencer's story, which I didn't know. Maybe I'm bad at doing my job, and I just didn't do my research, but I didn't know his dad was in prison. So when it comes to someone who was a star athlete talking about the fact that his dad never didn't have a chance to see him play, hello, this is fascinating stuff. This is piquing my interest. All right, so it's like the whole time during an interview, and again, I'm just sharing this because if you want to know what goes through my brain when I'm talking to someone as we're just driving around town, the whole point of the interview is to find common ground, to find interesting things to talk about. So it's almost like you're massaging somebody, waiting to find where there's a little bit of tension, and then you want to do some massaging in that place of tension. And that's not to exploit Andrew in any way whatsoever. That's just to say that I want to show the humanity that exists with a lot of people with stories we didn't necessarily get told. I didn't title it in any way that was clickbaity about the prison system. Single mom club. That's all it was. And of course, I made another reel with Andrew that was not about that. That was about the rumor I just shared with you. But let's go back, and I just wanted to clear that up because it's like, gosh, you just can't win sometimes, right? Trying to just have interesting conversations. Here's the part where he discusses Teddy. Now, as we know, it was a big story. Bachelor in Paradise. Teddy Wright quits in tears after ending things with Andrew Spencer. Everybody was wondering, what the hell went wrong? Why did she quit? How, all these different questions. Here's what Andrew had to say about his time on Bachelor in Paradise with Teddy. I brought it up as I dipped my toes into it. I wanted to call things out and be like, we're talking about Teddy right here. Have a watch.
You kind of, realize once you're growing up that your life is kind of turning into a rom-com when you find your first love and whatnot and going through all that.
Yeah, the rom-com, the difference between a rom-com and something like really heavy is just a good playlist,
Yeah.
It's like everyone's got a tan and it's a good playlist, but it can get heavy out there,
which
transitions into paradise.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you this because I can take any time I meet somebody and be such an optimist and make them out to be, now I'm married now, but all my past relationships were me falling for who I wanted somebody to be.
Yes,
Is that
1,000%.
Is that what's going on with you?
You hit it right on the head. That is it. I think.
Not only that, so we're talking about Teddy here. So
yeah, I picked up on that. No, that's 1,000% what it was. You know, you in like me, I'm so gung ho and getting married and building this perfect family that I never had. So like, I think with Teddy, I think she was literally, I was more of a checkbox thing, and I'm not a big checkbox guy. She hit everything that I thought I was looking for, you know, going into this perfect family I want to build. And I realize that's not like true, but I'm still striving to have that family that, you know, like.
Well, perfect is definitely.
And perfect is it's like not a great word to use, but like.
Right, but all your no, I totally understand what you mean. Like my wife,
perfect for me.
She'll be the first one to tell you she's got her issues. I've got mine. We unearth them all the time. We've always find new ones. Like, oh, I didn't know that was gonna start a
so
fight.
Then the conversation kind of spins into what is perfect, and because perfect doesn't always mean you check all the boxes physically, emotionally. It's a combination of, does this relationship work or not? So Andrew and Teddy, the idea that we've kind of imagined that this is how it played out, he kind of confirms it here. The idea that everyone was hyping them up to be this perfect match, when they actually got down to it, even though things lined up in some ways or another, maybe physical attraction or whatever, when it got down to it, they just weren't a good fit. Andrew is like me in that he probably tried to paint red flags white, work it out, and she was probably like, no, I know this isn't it. And good for her to be that way, because Andrew would probably be chasing after her, because that's just what some people do. Andrew and myself, I think, are very similar in that way, where we're lovers and we just want to make it work out. Anyway, if you liked any part of this interview, it's 44 minutes long. These are fantastic interviews, and I'll tell you what, if you enjoy my content over here, I think this is better content. To be quite honest with you, I think I'm better at a long-form conversation than I am over here just rambling to myself. It's different nonetheless. My interview tomorrow is with a non-Bachelor person. His name's Johnny Mitchell. He was a drug dealer turned YouTuber, and he's talking about his past as a drug dealer and how he kind of got involved as just a normal kid from the Pacific Northwest and ended up, spoiler, going to prison, doing what I would consider hard time, and now he's getting out and he's doing YouTube and he's a stand-up comedian. It'll be an interesting conversation. It might not get as many clicks as a Bachelor conversation at first, but my thought is people are going to get on board with this show. I appreciate Bustle for the award-winning journalism they did over there, and let me know what you think. There'll be a link right here. You can click on it if you want to go watch that full episode. And again, tomorrow morning we'll have another episode, as we do every week, of Driving with Dave. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you later.